Welcome to Star Wars Action News, helping Star Wars collectors collect better.
Still in the Sideshow Collectibles booth, but now we're not talking about Sideshow. We're talking about Sideshow's partner, Hot Toys, and we're talking with Andrew, who has been bitten by the Star Wars Hot Toys bug.
Yeah, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble for sure. So far, I've pre-ordered everything, including that quarter-scale Boba Fett that they put out. So when the Space Trooper came up for pre-order for the con exclusive, I, of course, had to bite and pre-ordered that as well.
Now, you joined us for the review of the Black Hole Stormtrooper, which was the first one they've shipped. I've seen a lot of reports coming in that people have been getting their Stormtrooper 2-packs. Have you gotten your Stormtroopers?
I have not. They are shipping now. I got the email saying that they were coming out. I was originally doing the flex pay, so I had to change my order so that I did the one lump sum, which was a little hard to bite, but it's going to get me my Stormtroopers quicker, so I'm happy about that.
Okay, so what I saw come out was news that the Space Trooper was going to be Hot Toys Celebration exclusive, and I thought that meant Hot Toys themselves were going to be here and we'd be walking out with a Space Trooper, and I kind of thought I was going to be in some trouble, even though I looked at it, I'm like, well, it's kind of a Stormtrooper with a neck piece, right, and a backpack. That's what we got here, is kind of a reuse of the body?
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, but I'm a sucker for some really cool exclusive items, and so here we've got that giant gun that I just think is awesome. It's got a couple little red dots, and I guess those are little scopes, and it looks really great. It really looks great. The paint job is great. There's a little bit of a wash to it. It looks a little rough, and the backpack has movable parts that you can actually remove from the backpack, so that's going to be cool just to play with as well.
So you went ahead and you ordered this?
Yes, sir.
And I'm telling you, I came real close, but after that Black Hole Stormtrooper, I came real close to ordering the Stormtrooper 2-pack. So and the word exclusive, but I'll tell you, the fact that it isn't here at the show, and I waited a day, and the fact that it wasn't on wait list after a day made me go, well, it's kind of a Stormtrooper with an accessory pack. Celebration's expensive already. I held out, but I'm anxious to hear your review of like all 3 Stormtroopers. They're almost gonna give you a squadron before it is done.
Yeah, at the current count, I'll have 4. So it'll be interesting to see what differences there are between the different Stormtroopers, other than just different accessories and add-ons.
I think it's really cool they're making a Space Trooper. At first, when I saw them making a Space Trooper, I was thinking like EU. I was thinking like the Power of the Force 2 figures. Right. But I thought it was a really cool idea that they were doing it as like this, because it's kind of a lot of people on Facebook were like, where was this in the movie? It is really a unknown but movie accurate from A New Hope. I mean, the original movie figure here.
Yeah, it's definitely a blink and you miss him character, but he is there if you zoom in really, really close. He's there watching that Millennium Falcon land on the Death Star.
Yeah, and he's pointing at me like, I want you to buy this figure, but I'm going to try to...
Go for it. Go for it.
Let's go look at some other Hot Toys instead before he convinces me. Now, I have a smile on my face. For those watching the video podcast, you see it. You know why I have a smile on my face, Andrew?
Why is that, Arnie?
Because the worm has turned. I've been doing Star Wars Action News for 10 years. And for 10 years, it's mostly been Marjorie, but also thousands of listeners asking me, wow, you spent the money on that. And not that bad things, but just, the vicarious collecting, and me with a bit of a chagrined look on my face going, I'm going to be killed when the bills come in, and I'm going to have to explain this, and then this is in my house, and my company is going to come, and I'm going to have to explain this. But now I'm the interviewer, and you're the one with the smile on your face as we stand next to your biggest Hot Toys purchase, both in terms of scale and in terms of dollars. This is the awesome, the amazing, the drool-worthy, I am not denying that, quarter-scale Boba Fett. But this is almost like a blind date. This is like speed dating, only you're already betrothed. You've already put down the payment. But it's like the speed dating we have here at Star Wars Celebration. You have now met your chosen one. What do you think?
Well, I'm not a proponent of arranged marriages. However, in this case, I think I'm going to go with it. I think he looks awesome. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is the braids on his shoulder. I think the fringe at the bottom looks a little wonky.
I agree. It's like teenage braids, like Cindy Brady.
Yeah, well, yeah, it looks like something that would be on the back of a Barbie doll or something, the pigtails or something like that. But I think the gauntlets look amazing. All the little scratch marks on all the armor, all the little doodads in the pockets. His cape looks awesome, just hanging there off his shoulder. Yeah, I can't wait to get it and play with it.
I mean, I'm going to give this some serious credit. That base is amazing, that it has the blaster bolt on the front of it, the wash on it. And let's keep in mind, I mean, we're not able to touch this. You will be able to touch this. I mean, this is what happens when you get married, is you're able to touch it everywhere you want. Show me on the Boba Fett where it touched you. Anyway, but it is not a statue. This we're seeing in a single pose, but you can pose him any way you want. This is a badass pose they have him in with the gun up like that. But you could have that arm extended and shooting. You could have him crouching. You could have him flailing as he falls into the Sarlacc pit.
Right, and then crawling back out of the Sarlacc pit too, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's canon, I'm sure.
But then you have to pour acid on the $500 figure.
Okay, never mind. We won't reenact that scene. Yeah, forget that part.
But I'm glad you like it, because I really wanted to get your reaction seeing it in person, because I've been there. I have ordered expensive items where you're looking at a picture online. I've ordered expensive items where you're looking at a picture online. When you get it, you go, oh. But I wanted to see your reaction now that, and you know what? I see a love in your eyes. The way you look at your baby, the way you look at Boba Fett, it's not quite the same, but it's within the same spectrum of color.
Yeah, I'm a little Twitter-pated, you could say. Yeah. What I really like, too, is the way that the helmet looks. It's not just a solid green. There's kind of a change in tone between some dark green and some light green and all the different scuffs and nicks and everything that they got on there. I just think it's a good item to just gaze at and take in all the little detail.
Well, let's go gaze around the corner. I know you've just gotten this one, but let's go look at another hot toy. It feels like you're on the Hot Toys Bachelor right now, doesn't it?
A little bit. I've never seen the show, but I think I know what that guy feels like.
Now the question is, you gave Boba Fett the rose, but will you also be giving a rose to Darth Vader? We are seeing for the first time, and I don't know that it was even fully announced, a quarter-scale Hot Toys Darth Vader.
Yeah, he took me by surprise, and he looks pretty awesome too. All the stitching that's in the leather on his arms. I'm assuming that there's going to be light-up features on the chest plate.
Hot Toys is good about that.
Yeah, and maybe lightsaber, I don't know. It's hard to say. This is just a prototype, so it's not the finished product. It's interesting that this one is also the later version of Vader, as opposed to the 1/6 scale, which is the A New Hope Vader. So this has the armor on the outside of the shoulder, as opposed to underneath his under tunic.
Very good point on that. It's hard for me to kind of tell. Episode 3?
Maybe.
It's hard to tell. I'm not that into the props. It does kind of look that way. Here's what's funny is I think we're noticing things people may be walking past who are familiar with Sideshow's items and think these are the premium formats, because we got a Boba Fett and a Vader, both of which were just put up for pre-order not all that long ago in quarter scale by Sideshow. It's the bases that really tip it off, that neither one is on a slanted base, and the Vader here. Now we're looking at a prototype. There's a big sign, not final, pending license or approval. I have to agree. I've never bought a quarter scale Hot Toys. But that stitching is so gorgeous. And if that lightsaber lights up, and wow, it's amazing. And the under tunic is like the perfect fabric, and the cape hangs well. And it is so hard to make a cape hang well. And his face is like perfectly proportioned. It's very easy to make Darth Vader accidentally look like a hound dog.
Yeah, definitely. It's in the way that it's so glossy and the light reflects off of it, it's the same kind of thing with the Shadow Trooper. You have an all-black figure. How's it going to look on display? And the way that everything's so shiny, I think it's just going to reflect the light, and it's just so striking.
I mean, it's reflecting the light in here in such a way that, I mean, we're in a convention center with a lot of lighting, but yeah, it has that Death Star or Tantive feel with all the hot lights above it, just top lit, reflecting in those shoulder pads. And this, what do you do? Are you in?
I don't know. I'm going to have to think it over. I mean, it's going to depend on a couple things. It's going to depend on where it falls in the release schedule, and whether or not how it falls with the rest of my flex pays for the other Hot Toys that I've ordered. And I'm also curious about the base, because it's just on a very plain base right now. So if it's on that base, I might be a little wishy-washy. If it's on a really awesome base like the Boba Fett's, that might push me over the edge. We'll have to see.
I agree, and as you were talking, it occurred to me, it might outprice. I'm looking at that and going, 500? I could really see me spending 500. But they're probably going to ask 750 is my fear all of a sudden, because of the electronics and a really nice base and posability and all the other stuff. And maybe even, I'm guessing, but Hot Toys loves to put alternate portraits in there. Will we get an Anakin head, be it a Hayden Episode 3 head or something? But all of those things do add to the price as well. But it looks like you just fell hard at the thought of that.
If there's alternate heads, especially if there's like a Sebastian shot, like with the face off, not Nicolas Cage, but if the mask is off, that would be incredible. That would be incredible.
All right, well, there's one more Hot Toy here, but it seems like such a small offering after, I mean, we just witnessed love at first sight, folks. We just witnessed Andrew fall in love with Darth Vader.
One tear.
But let's go ahead and not pay an undue respect to one last 6-scale figure and move away from the quarter-scale goodness. Now, we're actually at a case of Hot Toys 6-scale figures here in the Sideshow booth, and there are some nice-looking figures here. The new one, though, the reveal, the Sandtrooper.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me as well. So the Sandtrooper is obviously a cooler figure than just the regular Stormtrooper. He's got all the extra gear on him. He's got the pauldron. He looks dirty and rough. And they did a great job of replicating all that in this figure. The wash that they put on him is spectacular. And even the gun, the giant gun that's slung over his shoulder, it's not just a black, solid, shiny gun. It's got a lot of grime and dirt on it as well, and it just looks phenomenal.
And the base of it is really good, too, because they've been giving us these kind of rectangular, all the same bases. It looks like it's the same base and painted brown, but then instead of the grill on top, they put the sandiness on it, which on the one hand is like, okay, it's a block of sand, it's standing in a sandbox, but on the other hand, it adds so much, and you could troop build these and really create a complete desert environment.
Yeah, the base is interesting. I've kind of got the same feeling as I do with the Stormtrooper 2-pack, though, where all the other ones have the exact same base. So if you wanted to display these all together like they show in the instructions where they attach them together, this one's just not going to fit in, you know. So that's the only downside to having the one-off base, because I'm not gonna troop build Hot Toys. I'm just.
Are
not.
you sure?
Yes, I'm absolutely sure. I'm gonna be one of each. I'm not doing the 3 thing. No, not doing it.
So, all right. So have you pre-ordered this? Is this up for pre-order yet?
I haven't even had a chance to check yet, but as soon as it does go up, I'm definitely getting it for sure.
I don't think it is price to be determined, so it's coming. They're doing a lot of redos of the Stormtrooper. Is the only thing that makes me nervous as somebody, you know, you've taken the plunge. You're swimming in the deep end. I'm dipping my toe in the shallow end. I got my feet wet with the Dark Trooper, but I wasn't sure the Shadow Trooper, they keep changing the name on me, but I wasn't sure about these others, and the fact that we now have, you'll have now 5 Stormtroopers that are the same body. Of course, Hot Toys does that, but the same armor and some new paint. That's the only thing that scares me is like, okay, next Han and Luke, which are the two stormtroopers, and we swap some heads, and then maybe we do what blaster bolt mark stormtrooper and stormtrooper with the big crate they carried onto the Falcon. How many stormtroopers can they do? They could start painting some of the helmets and go, I guess, a little rebels with it.
Yeah, I think for me it's going to depend on what the variation is. If it's just something where it's just a repaint of the exact same figure without any extra, pauldrons or pouches or anything like that, I probably wouldn't order it.
You already did. It was called the Shadow Trooper.
Busted. But it was an exclusive. I'm gonna.
I'll allow that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Arnie defense and say it was an exclusive. It does have the black pauldron though, so
which the Sandtrooper has though.
It's an orange pauldron.
But it's just a you've repainted accessory.
Well, I said repainted figure.
Got it. Silver tipped gun and Andrew's back in.
Exactly. No, so and also a different character, right? You've got Stormtrooper, you've got Shadow Trooper, you've got Sandtrooper. They're different enough. If it's something where it's just a white Stormtrooper that has, a streak of red paint across his, or a blue paint across his eye for whatever it was, Stormtrooper Commander or whatever from Force Unleashed, I may not pick it up.
Maybe. And you know what? I've been there. There's no judgment here. You are in a judgment-free zone, my friend. But now that you're looking at all of these other hot toys, I'll tell you, I'm looking at these other hot toys, and there are some I wish I'd ordered, and there's one that reinforced my decision not to buy it. I wanted to know your thoughts, though, before I show my full hand. What do you think now that you've seen these in person? You've paid a lot of flex pay and non-refundable deposits for everything in this case. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good right now. The only one that I'm not super, super excited for is the Chewbacca.
That's the one. That is the one where I'm like, ugh.
And for me, it's you were saying that it kind of has a coconut mouth. And for me, I'm fine with the coconut mouth. I think Chewbacca kind of has a coconut mouth anyway. For me, it's the way the hair lays on the coconut mouth.
I'm all about the hair on the Wookiee because you look at the way it comes down off the paws, the way it's all around the neck and on the hair and on the head, the different colors. I love that they did different colors. Do not get me wrong. And I love that it's real hair and not plastic. But the feet have a definite Bigfoot kind of thing going on with that. And the face, I just think they could have done better. It doesn't look like Chewie to me.
Yeah, he doesn't look enough like Chewie to me.
It's more Mala.
Yes, a little bit. I think the feet are fine. They're a little creepy. I'm not going to stare at them for too long, but I think that they look enough like Chewie's feet. I haven't seen them up close and personal, but from behind the scenes footage, it looks good enough. I think the hair on the arms looks great. I'm just not so sure about the way the hair looks on the mouth, but that could just be something where you can, just kind of fudge it with your thumb or something, make it look a little rougher. It just looks a little too smooth and perfect right now.
The lips and teeth are also kind of distracting me a little bit. It's like there's little like mini teeth in there, like teeth nubbins for the front, and then got some fangs going on the side. I don't know. It's just kind of odd. But you know what? I'm not going to focus on the one I don't like because I unfairly maligned Han Solo. And I said that does not look like Harrison Ford because the pictures at Sideshow.com I don't think did. This looks like Harrison Ford. I cannot believe how much that is just a likeness.
Yeah, this one makes up for what Chewie's lacking, I think. It looks exactly like Harrison Ford from almost every angle. There's a couple, if you go around, he looks a little bit smudgy for Harrison Ford, but all the little doodads in his belt, the little canister that's clipped to it on the side, it just looks phenomenal.
And the Alec Guinness Obi-Wan as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so, all right. Well, I'm glad you are not having any buyer's remorse while standing near this case. And I can't wait to come and see the case like this. Remember, look at the display. You got some black velvet kind of crushed around it. Not a bad thing. A giant glass, keep people from touching it. Maybe one on top to keep the dust out. I can't wait to see this at your house.
Yeah, the problem's going to be space, though. If I keep pre-ordering these things, I'm going to run out of room.
Thanks for watching this video. You can see full episodes of Star Wars Action News with more collecting news and reviews at swactionnews.com. We also have thousands of toy and collectible photos in our photo gallery. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. May the pegs be stocked and the Force be with you.